I've always said that cycling is fantastic for our minds and bodies, but sometimes it's during our toughest struggles that we get the most benefits. I've been cycling for, well, let's just say more years than I care to remember, and I do it not only because I enjoy it, but I also get a load of other off the bike benefits. I'm not going to turn this into some sad little pity party, but like everybody out there, I've had my fair share of ups and downs. There's been times in my life when it's been pretty dark and things have looked pretty grim, but throughout it all, cycling has been there for me. It's one of the few things that have remained steady and constant in a world of constant change. And it's also given me a very slight degree of control when all around me has been chaos. And it taught me that no matter how dark and how grim things could get, there was always an element of hope. I'm often reminded of this when I'm climbing up a long, steep hill, because no matter how hard or tough it gets, I know that with a little grit and determination, I will get there eventually. But what is it they say? It's not the problem that's the problem. It's how you think about the problem that's the problem. And what I get from that is that when you are faced with challenges and obstacles, it's very easy to fall into this kind of pit of despair and start beating yourself up with all of those negative thoughts. I can't do this, it's too tough, I'm not good enough. But this is precisely the moment where you need to shift your thinking away from focusing on the things that you can't do or the things that you failed to do, but instead start looking for ways to learn from the experience. You might not have achieved whatever it was you were trying to achieve there and then, but hopefully the experience that you gained now will help you achieve it at some point in the very near future. I appreciate that it's not all that easy or particularly straightforward, but I really do try to see all of the obstacles and the problems that I face on the bike as opportunities for personal growth. I try to ask myself, what can I learn in this situation, and how can it help me improve not only my cycling, but how can it also help me face up and be a bit more resilient to all of the ups and downs that life is inevitably going to throw my way. It doesn't really matter who you are. You can be the world's fastest, strongest cyclist, or you can be the world's slowest, weakest cyclist. You're still riding your own ride. You're still challenging yourself. You're still equipping yourself with skills like confidence, determination, and inner strength. And these are precisely the things that you are going to need when life does throw you one of those curveballs. Whenever I have been on a particularly tough and challenging ride, and that can be because of anything, because of maybe I've been battling fatigue, or the route's been tough, or maybe the weather hasn't been particularly kind to me, I've learned an important thing, and that is you really do need a lot of perseverance in those situations. When you are there, it's so easy to tell yourself it's okay to give up. But if you can push yourself through those tough moments, you will develop determination and a whole load of skills that are going to help you later on. Believe me, you'll really surprise yourself at what you're capable of when you really and truly commit to doing something. But of course, progress doesn't just happen overnight. It's all going to take time. It's a lot like when you're trying to improve your speed or your endurance on the bike. You have to work at it, and of course there are going to be a lot of setbacks along the way. But again, try to see those setbacks as learning opportunities. It's also going to help if you can just take a step back and try to enjoy the journey. Don't be too judgmental on yourself. You'll get a lot more benefit if you can just have fun and just enjoy what you're doing while you're doing it. But again, I also appreciate that that's far easier said than done. It also doesn't help that us cyclists, we can be particularly results focused. So while the numbers that we're trying to hit are important from time to time, so things like how far we've ridden, how fast we've ridden, have we broken this PR or that PR, they can get in the way of you just experiencing the ride for what it is. A way to do this is to set yourself some much smaller, much more achievable goals. So instead of asking yourself the big questions like, did you beat your average speed today? Maybe ask yourself some smaller questions like, did you manage to get your sorry ass out the door today? Did you ride up that particular climb today? Or did you ride a little further than last week? And try and celebrate those victories. It also helps to stop focusing exclusively on tarmac and arse, basically looking down or looking up at the rider in front of you. Just try to take in your surroundings, enjoy the weather, enjoy the wind on your face, just be in the moment and enjoy that. Unfortunately, life has this rather annoying habit of jumping up and biting us on the arse when we least expect it. It's going to throw us problems and obstacles when we least expect them, and sometimes those issues can be very difficult and sometimes overwhelming. A life without problems probably won't exist, so what we need to do is learn how to deal with them. Now, of course, cycling isn't going to be the single answer to all of those problems, but it can teach us really important skills like resilience and strength, and hopefully give us the courage and the confidence that we'll need to not just take on those problems, but overcome them as well. If you'd like to get the most out of your cycling, then please consider signing up for my free monthly newsletter. I'll leave a link in the description below and you can go along and sign up there. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.